Hello, Internet. It is I, Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. After going through three relatively minor movies, we're now going over a big movie. Without a doubt, the biggest movie to come out since Tenet, which is funny since both of these movies are from Warner Brothers. We're talking about Wonder Woman 1984. This has been a long time coming. I have talked about this movie ad nauseum on the canceled series. I talked about all the delays it got. It was supposed to come out in June, then it got pushed to August, then October, then December, then the HBO Max announcement happened, and I contemplated on whether making a video on it or not. I ultimately decided I will, even though the whole HBO Max thing will make it more confusing. I was like, I'm gonna do it. This is the most significant movie to come out in a long time. It's been a long time since I've covered a real blockbuster-esque film. I'm gonna do it. So here we are. It's time to talk about Wonder Woman. So as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. And I'm just going to warn you right now, we have a lot, and I mean a lot, to go over when it comes to this movie. So this is going to be one of the more lengthier box office prediction videos. So just telling you that now. But yeah, let's do this. Pros. Obviously, this is the sequel to Wonder Woman, which came out in 2017. And that movie had the whole story behind the first Wonder Woman movie is quite significant. So I might as well go over the whole history of that. So when the first Wonder Woman movie came out in 2017, it was in a tough spot because one, the previous DC movies that came before it, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, were all poorly received by general audiences. So I had to deal with the blowback of all those movies. But the real problem the first Wonder Woman movie had is that when it came out, it had been such a long time since we've had a female superhero movie. I mean, before Wonder Woman, there was what? Catwoman? Elektra? And those movies did so poorly financially, and not only that, they were just god awful movies, that Hollywood was like, you know what? Female superheroes? Nah, we're not doing that anymore. So it took a very long time for Wonder Woman to come out. You even get greenlit. And it finally did. Gal Gadot was cast. The movie was filmed. Had all the marketing and whatnot. And when it came out, expectations were relatively low because, again, had to deal with the baggage that was the previous DCEU movies and the fact that it was the first female superhero movie in a long time. But it managed to defy all expectations. It opened to over $100 million, which is very strong, although it was the weakest out of the four movies at the time. But what nobody expected was the legs the movie would have. It had amazing legs for a comic book movie because, comic book movies can be extremely front loaded. Look at the X-Men series. That should tell you. I mean, even the good X-Men movies tend to drop like stones. Wonder Woman did no such thing. It had low drops, and at the end of that summer, summer 2017 was terrible, but Wonder Woman was one of the few bright spots of the whole summer. It was the biggest movie of that summer, made over 400 million domestic, and at this point in time, it's still the highest grossing DCEU movie domestically. So it still has that. Worldwide it made over 800. I think it's behind Aquaman, Joker, and Batman v Superman, but still, incredible accomplishment. So yeah, sequel was a no-brainer. And, also the first Wonder Woman was incredibly well received by critics and audiences, basically anybody who saw it. So, yeah, naturally all that goodwill from the first movie would translate over to this movie. So, I guess under normal circumstances, when this movie was supposed to come out in June, I would have said, oh, it would have opened bigger than Wonder Woman, even if it wasn't as good. That goodwill would still help it thrive, at least initially. That's what I would have said. But obviously, that didn't happen. That's in a whole alternate timeline. But the timeline we're in now, things have changed and changed for the worse. But I mean, compare. I still think that goodwill, some of that goodwill will translate to Wonder Woman. It won't be a whole lot, but it will be some, I guess. So yeah, that's definitely a pro. Is that the first movie was so good, goodwill will translate over to the sequel. So that's definitely a pro. Another pro is that the movie has so far received good reviews from what I've heard. Well, you know how critics are. Critics can be kind of bleh, not super trustworthy these days. They tend to play their favorites. Birds of Prey got good reviews, even though everybody I've heard said it definitely wasn't as good as the reviews say it was. So yeah, but I mean, it's good reviews will make a movie look good or make a movie look somewhat pleasing. Okay, if this movie got terrible reviews, then nobody would have watched it. Well, actually, that's not true. People would have still watched it. I mean, look at Spider-Man. Well, not Spider-Man 3. That's a bad example. Spider-Man 3 is not that bad. X-Men Origins Wolverine. That's a bad movie. It still made money, though. So, bad reviews would not have been the end of the world for Wonder Woman. But, yeah, good reviews always help. So, that's a pro. Let's see. Another pro. I mean, this is the biggest movie to come out in a long time. I mean, ever since Tenet, it's mostly just been small, very small indie movies. And I guess you could say The Croods: A New Age is a big movie, but come on now, that's a stretch. I mean, Tenet and Wonder Woman 1984, these were movies that were supposed to make $1 billion. Okay, under normal circumstances, they would have made $1 billion. So yeah, the fact that we have another movie like that in the marketplace is good. I mean, theaters desperately need something, anything at this point. So I think Wonder Woman 1984 will give them something. So yeah, definitely a pro there. Has no real competition for a long, long time. I don't see anything coming out in January or February to really combat it. I guess Tom and Jerry is the best I can come up with. And I mean, there is Raya and the Last Dragon. There's that. Then there's, I think Morbius is still coming out in March at this point in time. That can always change. But yeah, it'll be a long time before Wonder Woman faces any real competition. So yeah, that's definitely a pro. Okay. Cons. Here we go. Let's get this over with. HBO Max. Okay, so I'm pretty sure all of you have heard by now about the HBO Max announcement and what's going on with Wonder Woman and all the 2021 Warner Bros. Movies. So this whole experiment, in a nutshell, is that Warner Bros. Have decided to place all their movies and basically say, hey, not only will this be in theaters, but this will also be on our streaming service, HBO Max, for no additional charge. So it's kind of like a personal choice. You either want to go to the theater and watch it, or you're going to pay for an HBO Max subscription to watch it in the comfort of your own home. That's the choice you got to make. So yeah, that's obviously going to cut Wonder Woman's box office more than it already has, than everything else has, because I feel like even though HBO Max, it's kind of a failure at this point. Some people aren't willing to go out and about because, again, the pandemic is a thing. It's getting worse. Why would anybody want to go out when things are getting worse? It makes no sense. So I feel like a lot of people would rather just watch Wonder Woman 1984 at home rather than going out to a theater and watching it. I mean, I don't know if it's going to boost HBO Max subscriptions. Who knows? It'll probably be like days, maybe weeks before we get real numbers out of that. But Yeah, I think definitely HBO Max will affect this movie's box office. No question. It will cut into it. And it will also cut into every other Warner Brothers movies that come out after Wonder Woman. Movies like The Suicide Squad, Godzilla vs. Kong, Dune, Matrix 4, and all the others. So, yeah, that's definitely a con. And Warner Bros. Have made it very clear. Like I've seen plenty of advertisements that. Oh, I forgot to mention that this movie has been advertised a lot. I mean, Warner Brothers always does that with their movies. So the fact that they're pushing it is good. They're pushing it a lot more than other movies. So at least there's that. But yeah, and all the advertisements they say in theaters or on HBO Max. They always put that there. There's no like we're just gonna show this one thing. They show both. So again, personal choice for anybody who wants to watch Wonder Woman. So yeah, that's definitely a con. Also, pandemic, blah blah blah. I already mentioned that. Uh, I guess there's also the fact that this movie's been delayed so much that people are just not as excited as they would be, because that's what delays can kill hype real quick. I mean, there were plenty of movies I was real hyped about. Like I was so hyped for Quiet Place 2. I was I was wanted to see it so bad opening night, then got delayed again and again and again. And now I just don't care. And it's sad because I was looking forward to that movie so much and now I don't care. This is the worst feeling in the world. So, yeah, there is, a real possibility that a lot of people are just kind of just don't care about Wonder Woman at this point because it got delayed so much. So that's definitely a con. I might as well mention this. There's been some discourse online about the movie. The villain of the movie is obviously a inspired by a certain orange man. Now, I don't like getting into politics. I don't. I hate politics. Politics can burn, to be honest. But yeah, I feel like that could theoretically turn off people. But granted, Captain Marvel, Brie Larson was talking all this stuff and nobody liked it, but didn't stop it from making money. So, but granted, Captain Marvel, it was strategically open before Endgame because the whole thing was, oh, she's gonna be an Endgame, so you got to watch Captain Marvel to understand Endgame more, even though she was only in Endgame for like 10 minutes. So, yeah, Marvel knew what they were doing there. But, yeah, I don't know. Politics, anything political is usually poison when it comes to box office. Even political movies are poison. So, yeah, that could be a con. A definite con. Uh, what else can I say? It has been said. Well, I've already mentioned the whole HBO Max thing and how a lot of people were. Oh, well, I didn't mention how a lot of people were angry about it. Christopher Nolan, Denis Villeneuve, they made their thoughts well known. Patty Jenkins has been very sort of mixed on it, because apparently she was paid like $10 million. Her and Gal Gadot were paid $10 million to say nice things about HBO Max. So there's that. She's not super happy about it, but she's like, well, what are we gonna do? So yeah. Oh, and yeah, another con. The movie opened in internationally last weekend, and boy, did it underperform! Like, yikes! It only made $38 million, which is weak considering it opened with China. China was a decently large market for the first movie. It made like 90 million there. It's not going to make that much there. It's not going to make that much anywhere because this pandemic has gotten so out of hand that a lot of countries around the world are shutting down again, shutting down their theaters again. It's bad. It is bleak. there is no real hope for Wonder Woman overseas. So if it can't do well overseas, there's a high chance it won't do well in the States. So, yeah. So, opening weekend. This is going to be difficult. The lowest I can go is $5 million. The highest I can go is $10 million. And the reason why I say 10 million is because, well, I forgot to mention this too. Dang it. Christmas season is usually very lucrative. A lot of movies tend to do quite well around Christmas. Their box office goes up. The same thing will probably happen with Wonder Woman. And oh yeah, there's also the fact there's less theaters. Damn it, I forgot to mention that too. There's less theaters. There's like 2,300 theaters in America that are open, and this is gonna open in like 2,100 something. Which, I mean, compared to the first Wonder Woman, yikes! First Wonder Woman opened over 4,000, so that's less. That's half. So if Wonder Woman wanted to make money, it can't. It can't, no matter what. So there's that the factor in too. So I'm gonna say, yeah, anywhere between 5 and 10 million. That's where I'm gonna predict, and then overall probably reach maybe 30 or so million, 30, 40 million, maybe more than that. Because the thing with this whole HBO Max thing is it's only gonna be on HBO Max for like a month, and then after that it's in theaters only. But at that point, nobody's gonna watch it. Anybody who wanted to watch it will watch it. They'll either watch it on HBO Max or they'll pirate it, which I don't condone, but I feel like some people are gonna probably try to do that anyway. If you want to do that, I'm not gonna be your parent. If you want to do it, go right ahead. I'm not gonna stop you. Okay, I'm not gonna scold you for it. Like, if that's what you want to do, fine. It doesn't bother me. But yeah, that's it. That's it for Wonder Woman, and that's it for 2020. We're done. It's over. It is over. That's it. No more 2020 movies. Well, I mean, there's some that are on PVOD, but I don't cover those. But yeah, that is it. That is all. Yeah. Wow, what a year. What a shitty year. I never want to relive this year ever again. I don't think 2021 is going to be that much better, but who knows? Who knows? I don't know anymore. So I won't be making another prediction video until at least the 8th, if this calendar is correct, with The Devil's Light. And it's a January horror movie. My favorite, because I covered so many earlier this year in January. And the thing is, January was like the most successful month of the year. Who would have thought that January of all months would be the most successful out of the whole year? Crazy. But yeah. That's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, share the whole drill. Want to check out more videos like this? I got a playlist on the homepage where I covered every movie that came out in 2020, or tried to. I made prediction videos on all those. I know it's not a massive amount of videos, but come on now. What am I supposed to do? This is all the movies I could cover. I also have 2 other playlists. I have a box office recaps where I go over monthly box office. Recently been doing double recaps. I recently did October and November. I will do December and January, but that won't come out till February, so that'll be a long time from now. I also have the canceled series where I go over all the movies that were supposed to come out around this time, like Dune and Top Gun Maverick. And what am I missing? There was Free Guy. And yeah, there was just a bunch. Yeah, because I think I mentioned this in my News of the World video. Like, before all this crap went down, this December was going to be loaded with movies, like, from the whole Christmas season. Like, I think I counted at least 8 9 movies coming out in like a 1 week span. It would have been insane, but that didn't happen, which is unfortunate. But what can I do? So yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. See you in 2021. Bye.